do believe we have a quorum. If you'd please call the roll.
Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Herstassen, Weiser, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Wesson. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, I want to welcome you to your Los Angeles City Council. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. The public is welcome. Madam Clerk, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Krikorian moves, Martinez seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Price moves, Rue seconds. Next.
Mr. President, today is Tuesday and time for the flag salute.
Okay, if we could all rise, we'll be led today by Mr. Curran Price.
Dedicate the center to
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We want to thank you, Mr. Price. Madam Clerk, why don't we go through the agenda? Let's start at item 8, that section of items.
Items 8 through 27 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Okay, members, specials, Mr. Buscaino.
Good morning, Mr. President. For Mr. Cedillo, if we can hold items 23 and 27, please.
Okay, no problem. 23 and 27, we're holding it for Mr. Cedillo. Mr. Huizar.
Number 19, please.
19 for Mr. Huizar. Seeing no others, let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, let's now vote on super forthwith. We want us urgent forthwith. We want to send 11 and 12. So let's vote. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 1 no.
So those items were sent super forthwith, urgent forthwith. Okay, we can change Mr. Cedillo's vote because it doesn't change the outcome. So that'll be on items 11 and 12, I believe. Okay, with that said, why don't we return to the beginning of the agenda?
And items 1 through 7 are items noticed for public hearing.
Cards?
Cards on item 1, 3, and 5.
Okay, why don't we hold those and let's take up the items that don't have cards. Specials, I don't see any specials. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
And Mr. Fuentes was here for that vote. Can we make sure that that's okay? Next.
Items 28 through 36 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Mr. Price.
What, hold item 34?
At Mr. Price's request, item 34 will be held. Do we have cards?
Yes, there are cards on 29, 30, 33, and 35.
Okay, we'll hold those items. Let's vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay, that brings us where?
On the supplemental agenda, items 37 and 38 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Do you have cards?
Yes, cards on item 37.
Okay, let's vote on the remaining item. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay, that brings us where?
Mr. President, that takes council back to presentations, items called special or general public comment.
Okay, I want to look over to Mr. O'Farrell and Mr. Price to see if you guys are ready. with your presentation? And if you are, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Mr. President, colleagues, Councilmember Price and I are joined by the Consul General of El Salvador in Los Angeles, Mercedes Lopez Peña, along with Carlos Vacarano, the Salvadoran American Leadership and Educational Fund, otherwise known as SALAF, and also Sandra Rosato of Clínica Romero, among other guests in the delegation, the group of delegation today. As someone who represents the neighborhood where Clínica Romero is, there in the Westlake District, and as someone who had the great privilege of going to El Salvador last year for the beatification of Monsignor Oscar Romero in San Salvador, I am just very, very pleased to be presenting this commemoration today. March 24th will mark the 36th anniversary of Monsignor Oscar A. Romero's martyrdom. We recognize Monsignor Romero's advocacy for the poor and the persecuted, which made him the voice of the voiceless. And despite the death threats against his life in the midst of a civil war, Archbishop Romero continued his campaign for human rights. The city of Los Angeles has the largest concentration of Salvadorans outside of the Republic of El Salvador. A large percentage of those residing in the 9th Council District, the 13th Council District, and also the 1st Council District, and across the whole city. As a representative of the city of Los Angeles, it gives me pleasure to honor the contributions, the social, cultural, economic, and political contributions by the Salvadoran community to the city of Los Angeles, and know that Mr. Price and I are committed to working with the Salvadoran leadership in Los Angeles to improve the well-being of our Salvadoran brothers and sisters in our community. Me siento orgulloso de estar aquí con todos ustedes a rendir homenaje a la vida y enseñanzas de Monseñor Oscar A. Romero, porque hoy honramos la vida de un hombre que durante muchas décadas y décadas pasadas de su vida se ha destacado como una figura de esperanza para todos nuestros hermanos salvadoreños. Estamos dedicados a mejorar el bienestar y luchar por los derechos humanos de nuestra comunidad salvadoreña en Los Ángeles. At this time, I would like our esteemed colleague representing the new 9th, Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Councilman, for your leadership and for your presence here this morning. It's an honor to stand with you, with the Consul General, and others here in remembrance of Monsignor Oscar Romero. Today we reflect on Monsignor Romero's legacy and teachings that we should all keep in mind as we govern our constituencies, particularly as Romero focused on promoting nonviolence and the humane treatment of all people, especially those most marginalized in society during the El Salvador's most difficult era in history. Although Monsignor Romero's life was tragically cut short in 1980, his legacy lives on, both in the United States and in El Salvador. I had the distinct pleasure of joining SALAF on a trip to El Salvador in 2014, where I was able to see with my own eyes the principles and values taught by Monsignor Romero are still alive and well today. Whether we were visiting a local church in the center of town or at a remote elementary school in the middle of a jungle, his teachings give a sense of hope and a better life ahead. It was an incredibly moving trip that I will not soon forget. I want to take this opportunity to thank Carlos for his tireless work in the community, particularly District 9, where I represent the fastest growing population of El Salvadorians outside of El Salvador. I am proud to call you a partner in our community, as your dedication has empowered thousands of Angelinos, particularly our young children, who, with your guidance, have been afforded amazing opportunities, particularly as they pursue a higher education and maintain their dedication to serving their community. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Colonel. Thank you. And now I'd like to give a warm welcome and round of applause to our Consul General, Ms. Lopez Peña.
All right, welcome.
En nombre del Gobierno de El Salvador, a través del Consulado de El Salvador, en la ciudad más importante donde se aglutina más de 1,5 millones de salvadoreños, mujeres y hombres.
In the name of the government of El Salvador, in the city that more than 1 million Salvadoreños live and reside,
Queremos agradecer estos gestos y estas expresiones de apoyo a nuestra comunidad.
we want to thank you for all these gestures of support to our community,
Precisamente apoyando estos esfuerzos y el ejemplo que ahora conmemoramos este 24 de marzo que viene, vamos a conmemorar el 36 aniversario de la muerte y martirio de uno de los obispos en el mundo más importantes.
precisely helping us commemorate the death of the martyrdom of one of the archbishops, Monsignor Oscar Romero.
36 años de situaciones muy difíciles para nuestro país, para El Salvador, que ha enfrentado una cantidad de situaciones, guerras, inundaciones, terremotos.
36 years of very difficult situations in my country, El Salvador. We have encountered a lot of situations like earthquake, a lot of things.
Guerras,
Wars.
y que precisamente el ejemplo de Monseñor Romero es lo que nos ha guiado a mantener la fe, la esperanza y el ímpetu por lograr resolver las situaciones difíciles para nuestro pueblo.
And precisely the encouragement of Monsignor El Salvador Romero has helped us and encouraged us to go on and proceed with all the troubles.
Así es que esta semana vamos a mantener una cantidad de actividades a nivel de las organizaciones comunitarias y nuestro consulado acá en la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Y así es que pedimos y agradecemos precisamente a nuestros concejales y a todo el consejo por estas expresiones de apoyo a este trabajo tan arduo que hace nuestra comunidad salvadoreña en Los Ángeles.
So precisely this week we're going to have a lot of events, and we want to thank both council members. Thank you so much for your support, and we want to invite you council members and all the community to join us.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you. And before I introduce our good friend who really represents the best of El Salvador and the heart, the conscience, and the soul of El Salvador, our friend Carlos Vaquerano, I want to acknowledge members of my staff, my legislative director, David Giron, who is a Salvadoran American, and also my specialist at my City Hall office, William Ayala, also of Salvadoran descent. So now I'd like to introduce our good friend Carlos Vaquerano.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Farrell and Councilmember Price, members of the City Council, thank you so much. Once again, we're here to celebrate another year of the life of our dear Monsignor R. Romero. On behalf of Salef Clinica Monsignor Romero and Los Angeles and Salvador Sister City Organization, we want to thank you for supporting this, naming March 24th the Day of Remembrance of Monsignor Romero. As El Salvador faces critical times right now, such as the unaccompanied minors crisis, thousands of children are leaving El Salvador because of the difficulties that we're going through. We always call on Monsignor Romero to guide us and continue the struggle for social justice, for peace. We look forward to continue working with you next year as we're going to be celebrating the 100th birthday of Monsignor Romero, and we hope that we can get your support to name one of the streets, the one in front of Plaza Monsignor Romero, the Monsignor Romero Street. So I'm looking forward to your support next year, all of the members of the City Council, and for those members who have visited El Salvador, Councilmember Blumenfield, Councilmember Cedillo, Jose Huizar, and others, we thank you and invite others to join me next time. Thank you again.
Thank you, Carlos.
Mr. O'Farrell, I have two members on the queue. Mr. Blumenfield?
Thank you. I just wanted to add my voice to the chorus here, praising you for bringing this today to celebrate Oscar Romero, who means so much for democracy, for human rights, for peace. You know, and Carlos, I also especially want to acknowledge you. It was more than 15 years ago that we went to El Salvador together after the big earthquake in '01, and we were delivering aid. And you know, going with you back then really connected me to that region and to better understanding the history and what a great man Mr. Romero was. So I'm pleased to be here to celebrate and to join in the chorus of today. And so thank you very much.
Sure.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I thought you were done. Okay. And we have another member on the queue as well. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'd like to do now is introduce Sandra Rosato, who is the Executive Director of Clínica Romero there in Westlake, and who's been Executive Director now for about 3 years. So without further ado, Sandra Rosato. You're welcome.
Good morning, President Wiese and esteemed council. I'm with great gratitude standing here, and I want to thank Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell. So thank you for all your continuous support, and Councilmember Karen Price and the other council members. My name is Sandra Rosato. I'm the Executive Director at Clínica Monseñor Romero, a clinic founded in 1983 to bring culturally sensitive, quality healthcare to the Central Americans. Monseñor Romero once said, "Transcendent from the human heart is entering into the reality of the poor and of the sick. It is going to share with them," he said, "and from the very heart of misery of the situation to transcend it, to elevate it, and to say to them, you are trash. It is to say exactly the opposite. You are valuable." To speak of Monseñor Romero today, it is also to shed light of the horrible violence that is going on in our country, with young people being killed and women being raped every day due to the gang violence. There are no jobs to stop these bullets. This is the reality of El Salvador and our patients, our direct patients of Clínica Romero. These cruelties are shared with our providers, with our counselors, with our community organizing staff. To honor Monseñor Romero is to be a voice of the voiceless. In his honor, may you do the same for each of your constituents. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Mr. Cedillo?
Just let me applaud my colleagues for bringing this matter to our attention. Obviously, Monsignor Oscar Romero is a giant for peace and a model and template for how public and social discourse should be conducted. We can learn a lot from him here in the United States, and particularly those who aspire to be the president of this country. Let me also add, Carlos Foncanano, it's always a dear to see you. Your leadership is ceaseless. Your tenacious commitment is admirable, and I'm always happy to see you here today. And for the Consul General and the Director, bienvenido aquí en su salón en la ciudad de Los Ángeles, el segundo Capitolio de todos los salvis que viven acá. También quiero dar un recognition Mario Beltran for his incredible work in my office over the years in making sure that our office was a connection to the Salvadoran community, both here in Los Angeles and in El Salvador. Bienvenido and felicidades a mis colegas. Thank you.
That concludes the members on the queue,
right.
sir.
So once again, here is to the life, the teachings, and the legacy of Monsignor Oscar A. Romero. Congratulations, felicidades. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you.